The maid sat at the wrong table with a silent stranger. The millionaire exposed a brutal lie that night. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It's quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's return to our main character. The hum of evening chatter fills the Sapphire Hotel's fine dining restaurant, the kind of place where every plate glows under warm lights, and even the silverware seems to whisper elegance. But Lily Hayes does not belong here, and she knows it. Her reflection in the glass door gives her away instantly. Maid uniform slightly faded from too many washes, hair pinned tight after a 10-hour shift, fingers trembling from exhaustion, she refuses to acknowledge. She only stepped inside to deliver a tray to the back prep station, nothing more. Or so she thinks. Table 14. Table 14, she murmurs under her breath, clutching the small service card. Her voice barely rises above the clinking crystal. She squints across the room, weaving between polished shoes and designer dresses. But then she spots an empty table near the window, white cloth pristine, a single glass of water placed neatly at the center. She assumes it must be the temporary staff table managers mentioned earlier. A place to rest her aching feet for 30 seconds before heading back upstairs. She exhales, relieved, and slips into the seat. The cushion is softer than anything she has ever sat on. She closes her eyes for a second, and that is when a shadow appears across the table. A man sets down his phone and takes the seat opposite her. Lily's eyes fly open. He is tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a dark coat still dusted with evening chill. His face is unreadable, his blue eyes tired yet sharp, his silence heavy enough to make her heartbeat trip over itself. She stammers, "Oh, sir, I'm sorry, I didn't mean," but he only lifts a hand, a gentle gesture telling her it is all right. No irritation, no scolding, just quiet acknowledgement. His silence makes her more nervous, so she fills it. "I thought this table was for staff break time. I wasn't trying to sit with a guest." Still nothing from him, only the faintest curve at the corner of his lips, as if her presence surprises him but does not bother him. She has no idea that this quiet stranger has been watching the manager snap at her earlier, has noticed how she apologized even for things that weren't her fault, has seen the way she pressed a hand to her lower back when she thought no one was looking. She has no idea he recognizes the look of someone carrying too much alone. And she definitely has no idea that her simple mistake, sitting at the wrong table, will place her right at the center of a truth he plans to uncover tonight. A truth that will shake the hotel and her life before the night is over. Lily's breath catches as the silent stranger studies her, not with judgment, but with something quieter, something she cannot name. The restaurant glows around them, warm gold on polished glass, yet she sits rigid in her maid uniform, wishing she could disappear into the chair itself. Her heart has not slowed since she realized she was seated at the wrong table, but the man's calm gaze makes it impossible to stand up and flee. He breaks the silence first, not with words, but with a small nod, as if encouraging her to breathe. Lily swallows. She forces a smile that wobbles at the edges. "I am really sorry," she whispers. "It has been a long shift. I must have read the room chart wrong." His voice is low when it finally comes. "It is all right. Just that." 2 simple words. But they land gently, like a blanket settling over her nerves. She notices then that his coat sleeves are slightly rolled, his shoulders dusted with the light chill he carried in. He looks like someone who has been on the road all day, someone who came here to escape the noise rather than join it. She lifts the service card again, squinting. "This says I was supposed to drop a tray at table 14. I swear this looked like the right one at first glance." He leans forward just enough to glimpse the card, and his brow softens. "You are not far off." She laughs softly, embarrassed. Clothes does not count much around here. Her fingers toy with the edge of the card. She does that when she is nervous, a small habit she never notices. He notices. He notices the way she keeps her shoulders slightly lifted, as if bracing for reprimand. He notices how she keeps adjusting her ponytail, a sign of fatigue. He notices the notebook half tucked under her apron, its spine bent, pages sticking out at odd angles. The notebook she carries everywhere, but rarely shows anyone. Lily senses he is observing her, and it makes her want to hide the notebook under the table, but she cannot move without drawing more attention to it. She clears her throat instead. Do you need anything before I go? Water? Menu, maybe directions? I can get out of your way right now. His answer is unexpected. You can sit for a moment. Her eyes widen. Sir, I really should not. Staff are not allowed to rest in the dining area. No one will mind, he says softly, almost as if he knows exactly how her day has been. Her shoulders drop. The truth is, her legs ache from running stairwells since noon, and her back pulses from carrying supplies. It feels strangely comforting that someone noticed. She lets herself sit back again, just slightly, careful not to look too comfortable. She murmurs, thank you, and he nods again, as though it is the most natural thing to offer her a moment of stillness. A server walks past, glancing their way, and Lily stiffens, expecting a reprimand. But the server simply bows toward the stranger with unmistakable familiarity, the kind reserved for very important guests. Lily does not catch the meaning, but the man does. He lifts his glass, tilting it thoughtfully, as if weighing a decision he has not voiced. She has no idea that this man, who sits with such quiet presence, carries influence far beyond this room. She has no idea how closely he listens when she whispers, half to herself, I wish managers would treat the staff with more fairness. We try our best. Sometimes it feels like the whole place runs on exhaustion. His gaze sharpens, but not unkindly. Is that so? She nods, unaware she has stepped onto ground that matters deeply to him. He gives a small breath of consideration, almost a promise forming behind his silence. Lily looks down at her hands. Anyway, I should not burden you with that. I am just tired. He studies her again, slower this time, and something in his expression softens completely. He has just decided something she cannot yet see. Something that will pull her into the center of a truth waiting to surface before the night ends. And sitting at the wrong table, has just placed her exactly where he needs her to be. For a few seconds, neither Lily nor the quiet stranger speaks. The restaurant hums around them, warm and elegant, but the space between them feels suspended, as if the night itself is holding its breath. Lily shifts slightly, trying to will some energy back into her aching legs. She has worked a double shift, and her body is reminding her of every hour of it. Still, she straightens instinctively, because staff are trained never to appear tired in front of guests. The stranger watches that tiny adjustment. He notices that she hides her exhaustion the same way some people hide fear. He leans back, studying her with calm curiosity. How long have you been here today? He asks. Lily hesitates. Guests rarely ask personal questions, at least not kindly. Since 6 in the morning, she answers softly. We were short-staffed. It happens a lot. He blinks, registering the number. 14 hours? She nods, then gives a tired smile. Almost 15. But it is fine. I am used to it. The stranger tilts his head slightly. You should not have to be used to that. His voice is gentle, but the words cut through her practiced calm. She shrugs quickly, trying to make light of it. It is just how things are when you work downstairs. If you complain, management says there are plenty of others who would be grateful to take your place. He watches her eyes when she says that. She looks away, as if embarrassed for revealing too much. The notebook under her apron slips a little, the corner showing a small hand-drawn checklist, each square filled with determination. Is that yours? He asks. Lily pulls the notebook closer protectively. It is nothing, just a silly project. A dream, really. Dreams are rarely silly, he answers. His tone is so genuine that she looks up despite herself. She bites her lip before she speaks again. It is just an idea for a small cleaning service of my own. One day, if I ever save enough to start it. She laughs softly. It sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud. It does not, he says immediately, and the conviction in his voice surprises her. What would you call it? Lily blinks. No one has ever asked. She flips open one corner of the notebook just enough for him to see a name written in careful letters. Bright Start Cleaning. He reads the words with a thoughtful expression, as if the name carries more weight than she realizes. She closes the notebook quickly. But it is just a fantasy. This place barely pays enough for rent, let alone savings. The stranger leans in slightly, his gaze steady. Do they treat you fairly? The question freezes her. She thinks of the manager who scolds her for mistakes she never made, the The schedule changes without warning, the missing overtime hours that she is too afraid to ask about. Her voice lowers. Not really. But speaking up does not usually change anything. I have seen what happens when people try. He listens without interrupting, a patience she is not used to receiving. And what happens? He asks quietly. She fidgets with the corner of her apron. They lose hours. Or suddenly their work is not good enough. Or they are written up for things they never did. She shakes her head. So I just keep it to myself. People like me do not win those battles. The stranger's expression changes almost imperceptibly, a flicker of understanding mixed with something heavier. Not anger, but resolve. It settles across his features with quiet certainty. She does not know what he is thinking, but something in him has shifted. A calm before a storm she does not yet see. Lily exhales shakily, rubbing her hands together. I am sorry. I did not mean to vent. You must think I talk too much. You speak honestly, he replies. That is rare. The warmth in his tone makes her chest tighten unexpectedly. She glances around the room, lowering her voice. I really should get back before someone notices. If the manager sees me sitting, you are safe here, he says simply. It is not a promise. It is a certainty. She does not understand why he says it that way, or why it sends a ripple of calm through her tired heart. But she will, very soon, because the quiet stranger who sits across from her is not just a guest passing through. And the truth he carries is about to pull her into a night she will remember for the rest of her life. The soft glow of the restaurant lights shifts as a group of guests enters near the front, and Lily instinctively straightens, her training snapping back into place. The quiet stranger notices the way her posture changes immediately, how her eyes dart toward the hallway where the manager usually appears. It is a small detail, but it tells him everything about how she has been treated here. He sets his glass down with a soft tap, the sound barely audible, but enough to draw her attention back to him. If you need to return to work, you can, he says gently. You seem worried. Lily forces a smile, the kind that hides fatigue behind politeness. I am always worried, she admits. In this place, one wrong step feels like it could cost you hours, or shifts, or even your job. She laughs quietly, embarrassed. And I already sat at the wrong table today, so that is not helping my chances. He studies her closely. You did nothing wrong. Her eyes soften for a moment before she looks down, noticing a small smudge on her apron that she tries to brush off. Mistakes do not work the same way for staff, she murmurs. Guests get forgiveness. We get consequences. She does not say it bitterly, only as someone who has lived the pattern long enough to accept it as normal. The stranger watches her with a quiet intensity, a thought forming behind his calm expression. He glances around the room, noting how often the staff looks over their shoulders, how carefully they move, how quickly they apologize. It is subtle, but he sees it all. And he sees her most of all. Lily takes a small breath, as if gathering courage. I should really explain why I am even downstairs this late, she says softly. I normally work on the guest floors. Tonight, I was helping cover dinner service. They said if I did not take the shift, they would give the hours to someone else. He tilts his head. So they pressured you. She hesitates. I guess that is one way to say it. Her fingers trace the edge of her notebook unconsciously, and the stranger's eyes follow the motion. You mentioned your business idea earlier, he says. What made you think of starting your own service? Lily blinks, surprised that he remembered. Honestly, freedom, she says. The idea of choosing my own hours, treating staff with kindness, paying them for all the work they actually do. It sounds peaceful. It sounds fair. She looks down again. I grew up cleaning homes with my mother when I was younger. She always said that dignity costs nothing. But somehow it is the thing most people forget to give. The stranger breathes out slowly at those words. Not dramatic, not loud, just a quiet release of something he has been holding inside. Your mother sounds wise, he replies. She was, Lily says with a soft smile that fades as quickly as it came. She has been sick for a long time. That is why I take every shift they offer. Hospital bills do not wait, you know. Her voice wavers for just a second, the mask slipping before she catches it. He notices that too. The stranger's gaze deepens, more thoughtful now, almost protective. But he keeps his tone steady. You carry a lot by yourself. Lily shrugs lightly, as if uncomfortable being seen so clearly. Someone has to. Another group of guests moves past their table, and Lily tenses again. She lowers her voice. I should get back. If the manager walks through and sees me sitting, I will never hear the end of it. The stranger looks at her carefully. Would you stay for a moment more, if you knew it would not cause trouble? She laughs softly. That is the thing, sir. Trouble always finds the staff first. But before she can fully rise, a sudden voice cuts sharply across the dining room. Lily Hayes. Why are you seated? Her heart stumbles. The manager stands near the entrance, arms crossed, eyes fixed on her with unmistakable disapproval. Lily's breath catches. The stranger turns his head slowly toward the manager, his expression unreadable. Something shifts in the air, subtle but unmistakable. For the first time tonight, Lily realizes the man across from her is not merely quiet. He is someone whose silence carries weight. She does not know it yet, but the night is about to turn in a direction none of them expect. The hallway behind the ballroom smells faintly of polished wood and fresh linens as Lily hurries up the service stairs, her heart still unsettled from the moment downstairs. She tells herself to focus, to forget the stranger's calm voice, the way he said he would see her upstairs, as if he belonged to a very different world than the one she serves in. When she reaches the ballroom entrance, the space is already stirring with activity. Staff glide between tables, adjusting centerpieces and aligning cutlery to perfect angles. The chandeliers glow like floating constellations, casting warm light across the room. Lily slips into her assigned task, smoothing tablecloths and checking water glasses. She loses herself in the rhythm, grateful for the familiarity. But her hands tremble slightly each time she remembers the stranger's words. You are safe here, she whispers under her breath. He does not know how things work here. A coworker nudges her as she straightens a chair. Big night, he murmurs. Some important millionaire is the guest of honor. Corporate secret or something. Lily only hums politely, too distracted to ask. She moves to the next table, tightening a ribbon around a centerpiece when the ballroom doors open with a soft sweep. A ripple moves through the staff, a subtle straightening of backs, a tightening of expressions. Someone whispers, the board members are arriving. Lily keeps her gaze down. She knows better than to stare. But then she hears footsteps that slow near her table. A familiar quiet presence. Her breath catches before she even looks up. The stranger stands beside her, dressed in a tailored dark suit now, his coat removed, his hair smoothed back. He looks every bit as calm as before, but more imposing in this setting, as if the room shifts around him rather than the other way around. He offers her a small nod, the same patient one from earlier. Good evening, Lily, he says softly, using her name effortlessly. Her heart flutters with surprise. Sir, you should be on the guest side, not back here. He glances around the room. I wanted to see how the preparations looked. She studies him, trying to piece together how he fits into this moment. Guests do not wander backstage. Not ones dressed like him. Not ones who speak like they are used to being listened to. You really are attending the gala, she whispers. I thought maybe you were joking. I rarely joke about where I choose to show up, he replies gently. Before she can ask more, a man in a sleek charcoal suit approaches, carrying a tablet and walking with purpose. He bows his head slightly toward the stranger. Sir, the board is ready for you. They are waiting by the presentation area. Lily freezes. Board. Presentation. Ready for him. The stranger nods once in acknowledgement, then turns to her. I will see you again later tonight. She cannot answer. Her voice has disappeared, swallowed by confusion. He steps away with the confidence of someone who knows every corner of this world. And she suddenly realizes the truth is far bigger than she imagined. Coworkers nearby stare after him, whispering. One mutters, that is Ethan Ward. The Ethan Ward, founder of Ward Tech. The name strikes her like a gentle but overwhelming wave. She has seen it in business articles pinned on the bulletin board in the staff room. She has heard managers talk nervously anytime an audit or inspection loomed. She has never known what he looks like. Until now. She turns toward the stage area and sees him being greeted by executives with formal handshakes and stiff smiles. He belongs up there, under chandeliers and polished marble, not at a small round table with a maid who stumbled into the wrong seat. A soft ache forms in her chest. Not jealousy. Something quieter. Something like disbelief. She whispers to herself, why would a man like that speak to someone like me? But she cannot dwell on the question. The lights dim, signaling everyone to move into place. Lily steps back into the shadows of the staff line, clutching her notebook under her apron as if it is the only thing steadying her. And from across the room, Ethan glances her way just once, a brief, grounding acknowledgement that tells her she has not imagined their connection. The truth is beginning to surface, and tonight, the distance between their worlds is about to change forever. The chandeliers settle into a gentle glow as the final guests take their seats, and Lily stands along the ballroom wall with the other staff, her hands folded tightly in front of her. She tries to steady her breathing, but her heart has not calmed since learning who Ethan truly is. She watches him near the stage, surrounded by board members in press suits, each one wearing a smile that looks rehearsed. Ethan stands slightly apart, composed, listening, but not bending into their expectations. He carries himself with quiet certainty, the same stillness he had at the wrong table downstairs, except now she sees the weight behind it. A senior board member gestures to the podium, and Ethan steps forward as the room falls silent. Lily's gaze follows him, barely blinking. The manager appears beside her, tapping her arm sharply. "Stand straighter," he whispers. "This is a high-profile event. Do not embarrass us." His words sink into her like cold water. She swallows and lifts her chin, though her stomach twists. Ethan begins speaking, and his voice fills the room, warm yet steady, the voice of someone who sees more than numbers and profits. "Tonight is not just a celebration of growth," he says. "It is a reminder of the responsibility that comes with success." Lily feels something shift in the air, a quiet ripple of unease among the executives near the front. She senses that Ethan is not following the script they expected. He continues, "I visited several of our partnered properties this month, including this hotel." Murmurs rise. The manager stiffens beside her. Lily's pulse trips. "What I found," Ethan says calmly, "was excellent service from hardworking staff. But I also found concerns that must be addressed." Silence deepens. Board members glance at one another. Ethan's gaze travels across the room, not searching, but landing before finally reaching Lily where she stands in the shadowed line of staff. Her breath catches as his eyes meet hers for a brief, grounding second. Then he continues, "I spoke with employees who feel unheard, overworked, underpaid, pressured into shifts without proper scheduling notice." Lily's heart sinks. She had mentioned those very things to him downstairs. She grips her apron, her chest tightening. The manager steps subtly in front of her, as if trying to block her from view. Ethan's voice does not rise, but its clarity carries through the room like a soft bell. "We will not tolerate environments where dignity is secondary to profit." The room shifts, guest faces stiffening. Some executives exchange strained smiles, while others look anywhere but the stage. Lily feels her cheeks warm. She wishes she could disappear, afraid he might somehow expose her as the source of everything he is revealing. But he does not mention her. Not once. Instead, he speaks, like a man who saw a truth and refuses to leave it buried. "Tonight," Ethan says, "I am announcing a full review of staffing practices across all partnered hotels. Fairness is not optional. It is a requirement." The applause starts uncertainly, a few hands clapping before growing polite and forced. The manager beside Lily looks pale, sweat gathering at his temple. As the crowd rises to applaud, Lily lowers her head, trembling with a mixture of relief and fear. She does not know if his words will protect her or expose her. She only knows that he spoke because he meant what he said earlier. "You did nothing wrong." When the applause fades, Ethan steps away from the podium, but not before glancing once more toward the staff line. Lily feels the acknowledgement settle into her like a quiet truth. He does not see her as invisible. He never did. And that terrifies her almost as much as it comforts her. The applause fades into scattered conversations as guests begin to rise from their tables. But Lily stands frozen along the ballroom wall, her heartbeat thudding in her ears. The managers rush to the back exit, whispering urgently among themselves, their nerves visible even from across the room. She senses the shift in the atmosphere, a mixture of surprise, discomfort, and curiosity rippling through every circle of executives. Ethan's words still echo in her mind, steady and unwavering. Fairness is not optional. She tries to calm herself, but her hands tremble as she gathers empty glasses from nearby stands. She worries that someone will blame her for the things he said, even though he never once mentioned her name. She keeps her head down, moving carefully between tables as the ballroom transitions into a networking hour. Guests mingle with champagne, and music begins to hum softly through the speakers. Lily makes her way toward the kitchen doors when she hears a familiar voice behind her. Lily. She stops instantly. She turns slowly to find Ethan standing a few steps away, far from the crowds, as if he has been waiting for her to pass by. The sight of him still dressed in the tailored suit causes a flutter in her chest she cannot explain. She bows her head slightly. Sir, congratulations on your speech. I mean, it was very powerful. She fumbles over her words, her cheeks warming. But I hope I did not cause any trouble. I know what I said downstairs may have. You did not cause any trouble. Ethan interrupts gently. You told me the truth. I chose what to do with it. She exhales shakily, grateful yet overwhelmed. I do not want to lose my job. My mother depends on me. His expression softens, concern touching his eyes. You will not lose your job, he assures her. Not because of honesty. Lily hugs her tray closer to her chest, still unsure how much she can believe that. People like her do not often receive protection, especially from people who stand on the stage while the world listens. Ethan steps closer, lowering his voice. I meant what I said tonight. Things will change here. She looks up at him with quiet disbelief. Because of me? Because of what you reminded me, he corrects. She blinks, confused. He continues, success means nothing if the people who make it possible are overlooked. You helped me see what this place has been neglecting. Lily does not know how to respond. Her heart swells with something she cannot name, something that feels too large for someone like her to hold. She whispers, I never expected you to be who you are. Ethan gives a faint smile. And who did you think I was? She blushes again. Just a quiet man sitting at the wrong table. His smile deepens in a way she has not seen before. Maybe I was. A moment lingers between them, warm and unhurried. She shifts her weight nervously. I should get back to work now. One moment, he says softly, reaching into his coat pocket. He pulls out something small, her notebook. Lily gasps. How did you? I must have dropped it. He nods. You did. I looked through a few pages. She freezes, mortified. I am sorry. I did not mean for anyone to see those drawings. They are just ideas. He holds the notebook carefully, almost reverently. They are more than ideas. They are plans. Real ones. She hesitates. They are dreams, Ethan. Nothing more. He shakes his head. Dreams become real when someone believes in them. And I do. Her breath catches, her eyes widening at the sincerity in his voice. For the first time, she sees not a millionaire, not a stranger, but a man looking at her as if her future is worth fighting for. Ethan gently places the notebook in her hands and says, let us talk after your shift. There is something I want to offer you. And in that moment, Lily feels the world tilt, not with fear, but with the quiet promise of something life-changing on the horizon. The hallway outside the ballroom quiets as the last guests drift toward the elevators, leaving faint echoes of laughter and clinking glasses behind. Lily waits near the service alcove, her shift finally over, her apron folded neatly in her hands. Her heart beats unevenly, not from exhaustion this time, but from wondering what Ethan meant when he asked to speak with her after the event. She tells herself to breathe, to remember she is just a maid, and he is a man whose decisions ripple across entire companies. But her thoughts refuse to settle. When Ethan steps out of the ballroom, the air around him seems to shift, not dramatically, but with a calm certainty that draws her eyes instantly. He walks toward her with that same quiet steadiness she has come to recognize, the kind that makes the world feel less heavy. Thank you for waiting, he says, his voice softer now that the noise of the gala has faded. She nods. I wanted to return your notebook in person, he continues. But I also wanted to share something with you. He pauses, watching her reaction carefully, as if her comfort matters more than the words themselves. Lily clutches the notebook to her chest. You said there was something you wanted to offer. Yes, he replies. But before that, I need to tell you something important. She lifts her eyes, unsure. What is it? Ethan draws a quiet breath. When you sat at my table tonight, you did not know who I was. You spoke to me with honesty, kindness, and dignity. You reminded me of why I built my company in the first place. You reminded me that leadership means seeing people, not positions. Lily feels her throat tighten. I did not do anything special. You did, he says gently. and I want to honor that. He reaches into his jacket again and pulls out a small folded document. Not formal, not intimidating. Simple. Human. This is a proposal, he explains. A starting grant and support plan for you to build Bright Start Cleaning. Training, equipment, guidance, and resources. A real path forward, not just a dream scribbled in a notebook. Lily stares at the paper, her breath catching. Ethan, I cannot accept something like this. It is too much. It is exactly enough, he replies. You are capable of more than this hotel ever allowed you to believe. She presses a hand to her lips, overwhelmed. What if I fail? Then you try again, he says. And again. But you will not be alone in it. She looks at him, truly looks, and sees not a millionaire, not a man with influence, but someone who believes in her with unwavering sincerity. A warmth spreads through her chest, quiet and steady. She whispers, why me? Ethan meets her gaze without hesitation. Because you see people. Because you lead with heart. Because the world needs more businesses built by people like you. Lily's eyes blur with tears, she tries to blink away. No one has ever spoken to her like this. No one has ever looked at her and seen possibility. Ethan extends the paper toward her. This is your choice, he says. Not a favor. An opportunity. One you earned. She takes the document slowly, her fingers trembling. The weight of it feels like a doorway opening, one she never thought she would stand before. A soft silence settles between them, warm and full. She whispers, thank you, Ethan. He smiles, faint but genuine. This is only the beginning, Lily. And for the first time in a long time, she believes him. She believes in herself. And she believes that one wrong table, one quiet stranger, and one unexpected moment of honesty can change the entire course of a life.